Good evening, everyone. This is Mark from Stocks and Cash. It's March 8th, 2018. Here with your market update video. I'll talk about my holdings and then some potential trade setups for tomorrow. Jumping into the SPY, you see we had a hanging man candle, kind of similar to what we had a couple days ago. Volume was relatively low. MACD is starting to turn up. Stokes are bullish and RSI is bullish. So right now I have a bullish perspective on the market. Not to say that it couldn't roll over. I'm agile enough that I can close positions and reevaluate if I want to go short or stay in cash. But my intuition is telling me that we're going to push higher. I think we come up and test, the 278 or so level here. The next test would be 280, and then the next test would be the all-time highs of 286, assuming that we get there. So, I'm not saying we're going to test 278 tomorrow. Certainly, it's possible, it's feasible. I'm not anticipating it, but I do think we'll have a decent, bullish candle, and perhaps on Monday or Tuesday test those highs. That's um, kind of the foresight I'm seeing right now. Certainly doesn't have to play out that way. Again, it could totally roll over and make a bearish move, but I'm not anticipating that at the moment. But again, I'm remaining agile enough in my trades to close and be on the lookout to open new positions if need be. So that's my take on the SPY right now. The Qs had pretty much a nothing day, didn't really do a whole lot. I'm still looking at this breakout level, 171 or so. If we close above there, it'd be worth buying some calls in the Qs. But as of now, volume was pretty low on today's move. MACD is bullish, Stokes are bullish, RSI is bullish. I think we could definitely go a little higher. We are riding the AEMA, which is good, although there's a little bit of gap now. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was a sideways day, or if it was an up day. Maybe we hit this resistance level here, 171 area, and then maybe next week come back and test the AEMA and then be on our way up further. So there's some potential options that could happen, or scenarios I guess that could happen. Certainly we could roll over, but again, as I mentioned on the SPY, I'm not anticipating that to happen. So let's take a look at my holdings. Let's take a look at MasterCard. So MasterCard had a disappointing day today. It came down and retested the breakout level again, and then had a hanging man type candle, doji indecision candle today. So I didn't really lose a whole lot, but it's not moving the way I'd like it to. I'm going to give it some more time, certainly. Put my stop, a little bit, probably at the low of this candle on the 7th. If we, close below there, I'll get out of the trade at a loss, unfortunately. But, I don't want to see MasterCard kind of topping out here and start rolling over. So, ideally, it'd be nice if we had a nice green candle tomorrow, even if we don't touch our first target. If we have something that looks strong, similar to this candle, although we would want to open up down. But if we open up, or at least not that far down, if we open up a little bit below the close of today's candle and then go up and break through the highs, that'd be a nice little move. But we'll have to see what the market brings tomorrow. But for now, not overly impressed with MasterCard, but still holding on and seeing what will happen. And for the record, I am up 1% on my MasterCard trade. So not really doing a whole lot, but not losing anything either. Let's take a look at Intel. This one's even more upsetting than MasterCard. I'm down 18%. I bought at the end of the day yesterday. We were up earlier in the day, but we ended up coming back down and closing below the breakout level here. So not the most impressive day for Intel, considering how strong it's been over the last few weeks here. It did get a little bit away from the AEMA. You can see here it was away from it on these three candles. It came back down and tested it. It actually tested the 21 and then bounced. So I wouldn't be surprised if we fill this gap here. I'm going to give it another dollar or so before giving up on the trade. Maybe $1.50 just to give it some breathing room and see if we get a bounce. If we do, then I'd be looking at this target of 53.26 as the first target. So not giving up completely on Intel, but I do think it has some more work to do. Also on the SPY, I'm not going to go back and look at it, but I'm up 38% on the SPY. And then my last position that I'm holding, 3 calls in Activision, and wow, what an awesome day. So we gapped up from yesterday's close, we tested the 8 EMA, and then we just took off like a rocket for most of the day. So Activision Blizzard is looking really good. Volume is strong, MACD is strong, RSI and Stokes are strong. I'm definitely expecting this one to continue on higher. 78.24 is the first target, 82.33 is the second. So certainly well within range of hitting our first target tomorrow. I'd probably drop a call or two. I'm thinking it depends on how the overall market is performing. If the market looks strong tomorrow, I might only drop, I shouldn't say drop, but close one call and hold the other 2 to try and get up to 82. If the market is looking a little weak and we hit the target, then I'll probably get rid of 2 of the calls and hold on to 1 and see if we get to 82.33. So that's kind of how I'm going to play Activision. Let's take a look at some potential trade setups for tomorrow. Facebook, again, we had a down day, a little bit of a doji-ish day. We closed on this ascending trend line, which I'm not even sure is valid anymore since we broke it, multiple times. And as a matter of fact, I am going to get rid of it. So let's move our warning zone to where we are present day. You can see we're still living in that zone. Want to get a close above it. Probably a close above the close of this candle. So the close of this candle was basically 185. So we want to get a close above 185. This is a trade that you'd want to get into at the end of the day. Not a 5-minute candle rule because we haven't gotten through this warning zone. A couple more potential trade setups here. If you bear with me for 1 second. We already talked about the Qs. Tiffany's is another one that could be a breakout play. So we broke out here earlier in the month, and I guess that was in March. February. So a few weeks ago we broke out of this warning area here. We failed the breakout, no follow through or confirmation. Came back and tested the 100. Now it looks like we're trying to get back above the breakout levels. Or I'm sorry, the warning zone here. I don't have it drawn. I might as well do that. It's approximately here to here. So I'd be looking for a close above this warning zone and trying again to see if we can break through this time and get back up to our recent highs of 111.44. We get about a $9 or $10 gain from here. If we break through, probably about an $8 gain. But that's still a nice turnaround if we do get back up and test those levels, and then we have much higher to go if we break through those levels. So Tiffany's keeping an eye on it. MACD kind of crossed up. Stokes are bullish, and RSI is looking bullish. Volume was okay, pretty average. So I'm definitely keeping an eye on Tiffany's. Valero, very, very similar. We've been bumping up against this warning zone here, looking to finally get out and close above it. I was thinking as I looked at this, like, oh, well, we're close enough to the line. I might as well put in a trade after the first 5-minute candle. Well, I'm not going to do that, and you know why? Because if you take a look at this candle on the 26th, we were kind of in the same position. Certainly the candle's different, but we're pressed right up against this warning zone. If you had gotten in, after the first 5-minute candle, you would have been looking good earlier in the day, but then you would have closed below the open of the previous day's candle and had a big down day the following day. So you really want to make sure that we're above our resistance levels comfortably before you get into a trade. So Valero would be an end of day trade, assuming that we're comfortably above this warning zone here. EA, Electronic Arts, basically looking at a breakthrough of the recent highs of 131. You can see we attempted to test it, didn't quite get there. Now we're making another attempt, a third attempt to at least test and break through 130.107. So if we do, first target 135.84, second target 142. So to be clear, this is a trade I would want to make at the end of the day if we were closed above this breakout level. Stokes are looking bullish. MACD is trying to cross back over bullishly, and RSI is looking bullish. So, and EA in general has been a relatively strong stock. You know, had this bit of pullback here, but since November or so, it's been on a steady uptrend. Had some trouble here with the overall market, you know, at the same time as when the overall market did, but I'm definitely looking for a breakout here and you know, riding it up to our targets. Let's see. Couple more here, two more. PayPal. So very similar again to Valero. You know, we didn't quite break out here. We're just looking for a close above our warning zone. If we do get that close, it's worth getting in at the end of the day. And look, we have this nice gap to fill at around $84. So that would be the first target. Second target is the breakout level of 86. And then we have our targets above if we get through that zone. But, you know, first things first, let's see if we can fill this gap. And then we'll worry about breaking through our resistance levels. Last but not least, LVS, Las Vegas Sands. See, we had this descending trend line. Today we popped. Casinos in general popped, MGM and Wynn popped, but given the way that I've drawn the fibs, I think the LVS is looking the best of those three names that I just mentioned. So tomorrow is definitely a first 5-minute candidate. You know, we are a little bit a ways away from the exponential moving average, the 8 EMA. So I would use some caution. It's not like I'm going to get into 5 of these calls or anything. Maybe 1 or 2. We might see some sideways action until the 8 EMA catches up with stock price, and then it'll hopefully take off and test the recent highs of 79.84. So definitely keeping an eye on LVS. Again, I think it's a decent first 5-minute candle trade, and you just put your stop at the low of that first 5-minute candle. So MACD looks like it's almost crossed over. I can't honestly tell. Oh yeah, MACD crossed over bullishly. Stokes are very bullish. RSI is looking bullish as well. So I think LVS, you know, it's been kind of oscillating up and down, making higher highs, higher lows. Looks like it's trying to do the same here. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if we get through this breakout level sometime, you know, late next week or early the following week. So that about wraps it up for tonight. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them. Otherwise, have a great night, have a good weekend, and I'll have another update video for you on Sunday. Take care.